Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Matthew Boyle from LanguageCardGames.com, where we believe if you can play cards, you can learn languages. And today I want to ask a very targeted question of myself and share the answer with you all. And the question is this: coming from your background as a language learning card game designer, what would be the number one change that people could make that would have the biggest amount of impact and yet cost the least amount of money? And my answer for you would be this: organize a game night with language learners near you and go to play with them. And the reason why this is so important is because you'll be tapping into the power of social learning, and you will absorb so much as the hours are passing by, and it won't cost you a dime. This way is particularly useful if people are having a hard time learning in more traditional settings, be that with classes or textbooks, or maybe they're watching instructional videos online, but they're just not really feeling like they're having real connections with real people. I can give you an example of a friend of mine who was really in a tough situation. He was kind of in a catch-22 situation where people, friends of his and his family members, had very high expectations for him in terms of learning his target language. And at the same time, they would criticize him and deride him if he wasn't aspiring or achieving that high level. So on the one hand, he was being expected to do better, and then on the other hand, he was being made fun of or criticized when he couldn't do it or he wasn't doing it. So I think a lot of us get into that type of situation where people have the high expectation and they're also criticizing us, but they're not really helping us. They're not really scaffolding us in a way that helps us to improve. Even if we really want to improve, we start to feel like we can't. We start to feel like a disappointment in their eyes and then in our own eyes. Well, setting up a game night really takes a lot of that away. It's great if you're feeling a little bit shy, lack of confidence, maybe introverted. Maybe you're worried that you'll make mistakes. That's less of a risk in a game. The game nights are more of a low risk environment, more of a safe environment, great for language learning. And you don't even have to play a language learning game. You could just play just almost any game, really. And there's two general ways you could approach playing games, I think, that are not really designed for language learning. One way is you can surround the game with your target language. And what I mean is the discussion around the game is in the target language. And the other way that you can do it is the language that you use around the game is your native language or a language that you're comfortable with, and the language inside the game that you have to say during the game is your target language. Or, if you're able to, whether outside of the game or inside of the game, could all be in your target language. If you want to make it a little bit more focused on language learning, what could you do? Well, with a standard pack of Uno cards or poker cards, you could write onto the cards certain types of words that people have to speak, or questions that they have to answer, things that they have to say, and they have to say that successfully in their target language before they can use those cards or play those cards down. You can play Crazy Eights, you can play Go Fish, you can play poker. There's so many ways you can easily adapt games for language learning. You just have to speak in order to, take your next step in the game. But what if you wanted to make things a little bit more focused on language learning? Well, for that, I would pick a game that lends itself to language learning or is specifically designed for language learning. One game I'll recommend to you right now is this one, Language Guardians. And I'm currently offering this. You can get half of this game for free by subscribing to the Language Card Games website. I'm going to set up a page for this. I haven't done it yet. If you don't see the way to do it on the website, you can always just email me for it at languagecardgames@gmail.com. You can print out half of this game for free. This is specifically designed for language learning, and it's great for all types of learners. Mixed age, mixed ability groups can all play this. Now, you only get half the game, but you could print it out twice, and then you'll have a full deck of cards that you can use with a nice bigger group of people. And if you want the full game too, the full print and play is only $10, and it's in the shop. So great amount of value for a low cost. So those would be my recommendations to you. The biggest amount of impact for the lowest cost on your language learning, from my point of view as a language learning card game designer, will be to set up a game night with language learners near you. All right. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again next time at Language Card Games. Bye for now.